In this video, I'm going to be talking about some things you've probably seen other people use in their videos, and I only have a few of them because I want to make this video really quick, just so that I can keep my upload schedule up and buy some time for my videos, which are taking a very long time to make. So if you can think of more of them, then just tell me, I guess. I don't know. The audio on this video is absolutely terrible, and I'm sorry for that, but I can't do anything better. The first one is this 5-star review. You might have seen this being used by Ryan Trahan or FazeRug or even Sambucha sometimes, and maybe even someone else. I think FazeRug was the first person to use it, or one of the first people. They all look pretty similar. They're a rounded white rectangle with 5 boxes to hold the stars, and then it's colored in based on how much they like it, and they have the text underneath it to say why they gave that rating. And for some reason, this was surprising to me, but this isn't a template that you can just find online to make reviews, as far as I'm aware. And I did search for a while. So I'll just have to teach you how to make one from scratch, I guess. I guess that's good enough. I'm sure the actual thumbnail artists use Photoshop, but I'm pretty poor, so I'm just using Microsoft Paint. So I could think of 3 options to make the background, the rounded rectangle. The first one, which is easiest, is to search up rounded rectangle and then copy and paste one of the PNGs onto Paint and then just fill in the background. So this one is obviously the easiest, but you don't really control the proportions of it. The reason that you can't just use the actual rounded rectangle tool on Microsoft Paint is because that's meant to make a rounded square, so when it's stretched out, it just doesn't look good. But if you make 2 of the rounded squares that are the same height and width, and they're the same proportions, they're also at the same height on the actual canvas, and then you connect them to each other, and then you fill in the rest. And this one is actually really easy, and you can control exactly the proportions of the rectangle. So I think this is the best option. And then the last option, I probably shouldn't include it, but I still will. This is honestly the most time consuming, and also it's pretty obsolete since I figured out that you could just use the previous method I told you. But you make 2 circles, the exact same size, at the exact same height on the canvas. You connect them at the top, and then you duplicate it and flip it 180 degrees, and then connect that one to the top one, and then fill in all that, fill in the background. And this one takes the longest, so I would not suggest using this one, and I don't even know why I still included it. They're all going to end up looking something like this in the end. Since the rounded rectangle tool is to make a rounded square, that actually comes in useful for the next step, which is to make the actual boxes with the stars. So obviously you make a rounded square, which is the same height and width as itself. And then depending on your rating, you'll either fill in the background with gray or red, but the red could be yellow too if you wanted to. And then if you wanted to make a half rating, then you use the straight line tool to make something that divides it in half, and then fill everything to the left with your color of choice, which is probably red, and then everything to the right with gray. And then you put a star on top and fill it in with white. You could add a profile picture if you want and a name of whoever is reviewing it, but the font for the actual text of the review is Arial most of the time. So this is how you would do it in Paint, but if you have access to Photoshop, there's probably a different or better way to do it. And I don't know who needed this information, but I'm going to go on to the next one. The second one is this pixelated speech bubble. Now for this one, for some reason, I think I might be lying to myself for this one because I can't find any examples of it. So maybe I just saw one example and then I thought I see it everywhere. I use this one too in one of my old videos, but I'm going to talk about it nonetheless. So if you search up speech bubble maker, it's the first option, and it's also the only option that's as intuitive as it is. You just enter in what you want it to say, then you can have some preferences on what it actually looks like, and then you just save the PNG, and it's just super easy. So the design comes from the speech bubbles from the comic Diesel Sweeties by Richard Stevens. And I guess that's all there is to say about it. The last 2 are fonts. Now there's not a lot to say about fonts, especially the less common ones. There's not a lot of information about them because obviously who would be interested in those? So the first one is the MrBeast font. This one is Comica Axis, and it could be commonly mistaken for Bangers, which is very similar. And in fact, I used that in both of the MrBeast videos I made. But the actual font he uses is Comica axis. And then to easily to get like a PNG of this font, of either of those fonts actually, then you go on Font Meme and then you search up Comica or Bangers, and then you just type in what you want and download the image, and it's easy. And then the last one, it's a bit more of a common font, so there is a bit more to say about it, but still not a lot. It is Verdana, which is this font. If you see a video that has this in it, it's most likely they're using the editing software Shotcut, because that's the standard font on Shotcut. And I feel like I'm self-advertising a lot, but you will find it in a lot of my videos. So several people were involved in the making of this font. There's Matthew Carter, who actually designed it, and he also designed the font that Verdana is based off, which is Tahoma. Virginia Howlett is the one that realized they needed a font like this, and the name Verdana is the mix of the word verdant, which means like lush and green, and the name Anna, which is the name of Virginia's daughter. The font was made for Microsoft in 1996. So that's all I have, and again, I'm very sorry about how terrible the audio quality is, but I'm just bad at talking and I don't have a good microphone. And also, I'm making this video very quickly because it's been 3 weeks since I uploaded, and that's just too long, and my videos are taking too long, so I just need to post this video quickly. So the videos that are taking a long time, I hope they come out soon, and just goodbye, subscribe, the end of video, goodbye.